Cash looks close. We'll make a decision on him tomorrow. He'll be, I would call him, a game time decision. Bunting also is close. Well, they wanted to see how he responded today. I would say he's doubtful for tomorrow, but we certainly expect to see him in the series.
You
If
mentioned
Rasmus was healthy, is he healthy enough to play if you chose?
No, I don't think he's there. I think he's close, but he just hasn't had enough of the workload to for me to consider him an option at this point.
you mentioned after the game, the harder the better for this group. Why do you feel that way?
Well, I just think, I mean, if you're going to push through the obstacle that we need to get through here, you might as well start with the best, right? And these are the champs. And any time that we've been challenged as a hockey team, and I'm just focusing on this season. When I look at this season, when we've been challenged, we've responded really well. So I think that we have great respect for Tampa Bay. There's no doubting it. There's no arguing it. There's no debating it. They are the class of the league at this point, and they've proven that. They've earned that, and there's no doubt our team will be ready for them.
How much does the weight of not having one playoff round in this group weigh on?
There's no doubt the guys are aware of it. I mean, we've been through a lot here. Guys have been through a lot even before my time. But the focus is simply on this team and this opportunity that we have here. We've been through a lot. To get through 82 games, you experience a lot of different things, and your team and the individuals get tested a lot through the 82 games. So when I just focus on this team is excited about what's ahead. Know the challenge is great, and that just makes the opportunity greater. And our guys are ready. Today's practice was extremely focused, great energy amongst the group. They felt refreshed to me. The fact that we've turned the page here on the regular season and moved on to the playoffs, so the guys are excited.
When they won their two cups, they got phenomenal play from that third line. All three guys not there anymore. How different is that team now without those three guys, and with you now having whatever you decide to do with your third line, something more representative than you've had before?
Well, a couple things I'd say. We'll see what their lineup is going to look like in terms of how they'll deploy their guys. They've tried different things, but if we're just focused on what they've used most recently, they've sort of recalibrated a little bit there now, and it seems like they're using Sorelli and Killorn and a lot of those, the ways that they were using Gord and Goodrow and Coleman previously, and the guys that have come in, they started them playing sort of together, and then now they've mixed them up on different lines. So they're still essentially the same fourth line in terms of the identity and the way they play and Maroon's presence and all of that, and Perry and Belmar, what they've brought. That's a very good fourth line for them. And then to me, no matter how it shakes out, it's still three very dangerous lines, and Stamkos is maybe playing better than he's ever played. So you got all those things going on for their team that maybe have a bit of a different look, and that those guys you referenced they would, I'm sure, say were significant contributors, yet their stars were stars.
Sheldon, when you look at you mentioned about a reset and looking ahead, can you kind of point to Tampa as being a model like that, where they had the disappointment against Columbus and they learned from it and they hit their reset and they've won pair of cups after that disappointment?
Well, we think there's some parallels there that are not uncommon for any champion, that have to go through something like that. And our team certainly has had its shares. Now, those guys, before having that disappointment, they were close previously. But certainly with this core that they went through that and they haven't looked back since. We feel like we've been through our own difficulties and disappointments, and that we're ready to come out the other side of it. And that again is why I say if we're going to find our way through it, we may as well start with the team that has figured it out.
Sheldon, what do you consider the hallmarks of this particular group, your team?
Well, the biggest thing that like we talked about the other day is belief, and that was an important thing from the start, is to reinstill the belief in the group coming off of last season's disappointment, and then with the additions that we made to our team, believing in them and having those things fall into place. So just the fact that we believe we can compete with anybody, we believe we can find our way through any situation, and we can play the game any way you want to play it. All those kind of things are important, and then I think just the way that our team, especially in the last couple months of the season, really played well defensively, really plugged a lot of holes in terms of our rush defense and odd man rushes and things of that nature. So they showed our ability there. Obviously, special teams have been a marked improvement for us this season. We want to carry that through to the playoffs. And then just the fact that we've responded when needed to. Obviously we had a very disappointing game down in Tampa here most recently, but that stretch of games, Florida at home, in Boston, in Tampa, those kind of games for us, really are the ones that, we played our best hockey at a time when we really challenged our team, and those are the models for us going forward.
What did you see in Jack in the last months after he came back from the injury, Sheldon?
Just playing the way that he was early in the season. That was a big priority for us, obviously, is to get him healthy, one, and then two, have him confident and rolling in the net. And that's exactly where we've left off here, and he's continued to just get unbelievable practice today. So he's feeling good, and that's obviously good news for us.
What gives you belief that your group can thrive in what will probably be an elevated physical game in round one?
Well, just that we've done it. We've done it through the season, and we expect it. We got a taste of it when we were down in Tampa, and I've watched them play. I've watched them play through their playoff runs, and I've rewatched it since. And they're a team that's, they're going to be very physical. They're going to be very competitive. They're going to, in a lot of ways, when I look at their playoffs, especially in their first round last year, they definitely led the league in skirmishes off after the whistle and things that they're trying to do after the whistle and stuff like that. So there's all sorts of stuff. I expect it to be a very physical, borderline violent series in a lot of ways, and our guys will be ready for that.
Did that play into your decision to, it looks like you're going to go with Simmons and Clifford and Labushkin, like those types of mixture there in for game one?
Yeah, I think those guys are a big part of our identity in that way. And like I said, I do expect, we can only go off of what how the games have been recently and how Tampa's played when they've had success in the playoffs, how they played the last time we played them, extremely physical and competitive. So we need to have our guys that are going to be physical and competitive just the same. The officials will have to decide how they want to call the game, but our expectation is, again, based on history, is that it's going to be very physical. A lot of stuff's going to be let go, and we have to find our way to play through that and initiate it ourselves. And I think we've done that very well throughout the season, and I know we'll be ready to do it again.
How much are you concerned with matchups in the first two games at home when you've got last change and the ability to sort of set your lineup as you choose to set it against them?
Yeah, there's some things that we'll look to do there. Again, we'll have to see exactly how their lines shake out. They, like us, have tried a lot of different combinations. They've seem to have some that have worked very well for them the last little while. Yeah, that's what we're preparing for at this point, but we'll have to see how it all shakes out because they do have a lot of flexibility there, both on forward and defense. They move things around, so we'll be mindful of that and make the necessary decisions. I think with our group, again, because of how we move things around, our guys are comfortable if I need to adjust things on the fly.
What does Ryan McDonough present some of these guys?
He's just a strong defender. To me, he's the best defender that they have, and just the fact that he just makes it hard for you to get in the way. He doesn't. Obviously they have Hedman, who's both ways and such a threat offensively. But McDonough knows exactly what his job is. He gets in your way. He's going to be physical. He's going to protect the net. He's very strong. So he just does the necessary things. To help their group win and complements the rest of their decor well.
You can't get everybody into game one, but you figure you will need your guys as the series goes on.
Yeah, and without a doubt, you know, it's going to be a challenging series, one that will have its ups and downs, and obviously we hope that we remain healthy. We hope that everybody plays well, and then we really get rolling. But the reality is, you go into a playoff expecting you're going to need depth, and we believe we have that. You know, with guys that won't get to play in game one, and guys that might be injured or whatever the case might be, we still like our group a lot.
Sheldon, if he looks at the other end in this series, Jack's going to see Vasilevsky. What, if anything, do you think he can take from how he handled his first playoff series last year, holding his own for much of it against Carey Price?
Yeah, just again another thing that should help his confidence, and he should feel good about. I think that experience helped fueled him to have a great season here, and I know he's a confident guy right now, and he's feeling good about his game, and he looks at it as a great challenge and opportunity. You know, knowing that there's a world-class goalie on the other end, that, you know, like their team, you know, has been the class of the league, really, when it comes to these playoffs recently, and winning and all of that. But I certainly know that Jack's up for the challenge there.
You've seen Paul McLean around the last day or so. Has he helped with the project there for scouting and that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's been great having Paul. You know, he's come around quite a bit as COVID restrictions and stuff have reduced. He's been around a little more frequently, so much like last season, it's been good to have his presence around.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.